Okay, so now we are going to talk about the success factors of the requirements elicitation. Now we've mentioned that the the requirements engineering is a sub-process of the software engineering, right? Now, the requirements elicitation, you can think of it as a sub-process of the requirements engineering process. Okay, so in the sense that there are certain steps that you should keep in mind in order to not lose track. So first step is the preparation. We need to figure out who are the stakeholders, what could possibly done, some information collection on how are you going to conduct the elicitation, what could be useful in this situation. Okay, some preparation needs to be done here. And then once you have some understanding what needs to be done, now you need to actively engage your stakeholders. So active engagement here is key. It's not just one thing, you conduct an interview and that's it. Now you need to have them involved in the process as you go. So there could be multiple meetings or multiple interactions. And you have to make sure that you keep in mind what they said and not forget it. No, I was in a situation that I was in a customer position and I had people in one meeting, I stated certain requirements, and then later on in another meeting, it was as if it was forgotten. I don't know, they didn't record it, or it just I had to keep repeating the same thing over and over, and I ended up having to cancel the whole project. Okay, because I felt that they were wasting my time. They're not listening to the requirements, and it's very obvious that what I want is not going to happen because they're not listening to it. Okay, so active engagement, so multiple meetings, and make sure that you keep what they said in mind and not so that they don't have to keep repeating themselves and waste their time. Now, it is important that you understand the overall business goal. Oftentimes, we focus on the details of the requirements that need to be done, but understanding of the overall business goal gives us a bird's eye view to make sure that we don't get lost in the details and lose direction. Okay? Now, domain knowledge. Now, you have to understand the domain that you're working on. So, if you're creating a system for a tax return system, you need to understand the tax code. If you are creating a system for like a doctor, like a medical system, you need to have an understanding of how it works. You don't have to be an expert in it, but you need to have some domain knowledge that allow you to understand the language and create something useful to them. Then the planning for the elicitation, now you collected some information, you need to decide which technique is going to be used with which type of stakeholder and prepare. So if you're having an interview, prepare your questions, schedule meetings, okay? And it's also important that you prepare how are you going to record the information you collected. So if it's an interview, you need a place to record the answers, and that place needs to be shared with your team so that the analysis can be performed on it. And finally, conduct the elicitation activity and make sure that everything is documented and communicated with the client and with your team. Okay, well, later on in this semester, we're going to learn about Confluence, which is a very common and useful tool for a document sharing that is used in this type of project. But meanwhile, for the lab, so you need to decide maybe like you need to decide somehow to record the information and make sure it doesn't get lost. All right, so that's all for the elicitation step.